Hey guys, Steve Gutowski here, back again at convention floor for SHOT Show. We're at the lovely gunbroker booth, and we're here with Cameron from BitRail.
You bet. Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And we're talking a little bit about a new cryptocurrency that BitRail has developed, which gunbroker will accept for gun purchases in the future. That's correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the product and why you guys decided to launch a firearms-specific cryptocurrency?
Sure, sounds great. So, as we all know, in the firearms industry, which is a highly regulated industry, many aspects of regulation, in some cases very justifiably so, are really squeezing the financial side and the transaction side of gun purchases. And we're not opposed to this. We think, you know, added regulation in a tempered manner can actually, you know, increase the transparency for the entire industry and actually help all of us really, you know, make sure that we've got transactions that are transparent and safe and simple. So the cryptocurrency that we've launched is not your typical cryptocurrency. First, it's a stable coin, so it's tied to the US dollar, so it doesn't have the big fluctuations. It's not meant to be a speculative coin. You don't necessarily buy this coin, at least at this time, in order to, you know, speculate and make money or things like that. It is really built to be an alternative to the Visa and the MasterCard scenarios, or the money orders or checks or those types of things. The big advantage of this particular coin that Gunbroker is launching is the fact that along with all your background checks, it also provides KYC, know your client, right? It also provides AML, anti-money laundering checks in it. It also provides OFAC and SDM. So all of the homeland security scenarios that we have as a great nation have put in place in order to ensure that we don't have money laundering for terrorism and all of that type of stuff is now actually built into this. So along with background checks, we've now got some additional features that help this really propagate within the gun industry or within the firearm industry and help ensure that we've got safety and really strong factors that aren't necessarily legislative controls that are put on us.
Okay, interesting. So walk me through how buying a gun off of Gunbroker would work with BitRail. Like,
sure.
What does the process look like? Because this is supposed to be an alternative to paying with like a credit card, something like that, right? That's
so you would go to the Gunbroker site, and just as if you were to go to your PayPal wallet, if PayPal was in the industry, you would go to BitRail, and you can either use a credit card, or you can use ACH, or you can use money order, whatever, your wire transfer, and you would populate your BitRail wallet, which is you know, from the Gunbroker site. Right. So if you're a Gunbroker member or part of their audience, then you can get a BitRail wallet and utilize their Freedom Coin in order to make purchases on Gunbroker. So the first time that you get into the coin, your credit card may charge you a transaction fee. But once you're in the coin, the fees are about half of any of the other comparable transactions in the industry. So the first thing it does for the industry is it helps us ensure that we have a payment mechanism for your gun purchases. That's the first and foremost thing that we're really trying to ensure here. Yeah. Well, actually, it's the second. The first and foremost thing is we're trying to ensure safety, gun transparency, etc. Right. The second thing is we want to make sure that that purchase can happen. And then the third thing is that we want to reduce those transaction fees to that community, which we've done in this example by about half. Okay.
And so I think the reason that most people are going to be interested in this, and most people are going to want to know more about it and potentially use it, is this fear that the financial industry is sort of turning on the gun industry, right? And that the major banks are going to make it more difficult for people to purchase firearms, even people who are perfectly legal to own firearms, right? And we've seen even the New York Times columnists basically calling for credit card companies to block or gun purchases, right? And so is this something that will counteract that? Is this something where people can have confidence that they will be able to legally purchase firearms, even if someone like Citibank or a major credit card company says, we're not going to let our customers buy guns anymore?
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's an alternative to other payment methods, which are Visa, MasterCard, the PayPals, and those types of in the world. So the simple answer to what you're saying is yes. We are regulatory compliant. We're integrated in the banking system. We have money transmitter licenses. We do the know your client checks. We do the anti-money laundering law. We do all of the things that are required by a regulated environment, but we do it in a manner that allows this community to ensure that they've got a purchase or a payment option, even if those credit cards turn off.
Okay, so Visa, PayPal,
not
whoever,
dependent on them, not at all.
They can't stop you guys.
Those folks can't stop us from doing this. But I mean, we have to work within the laws. You know, we're not. But if Visa decides that they're not going to be supporting the industry, we now have an alternative.
Right. So that, I think that's what everyone's wondering about. What happens if the financial industry, the mainstream financial industry, the biggest banks, they all decide privately, not because of legislation or anything, just because of private pressure, which is what we've been seeing, right? With Citibank and Bank of America have stopped loaning money to companies that make legal products they don't like within the firearms industry. People worry about what happens if they all decide to do this.
Yeah.
If they all decide no one should be able to buy an AR-15 even if it is legal, what are we going to do? What's the alternative? And so this is something that could be that.
This absolutely could be that. And I think as long as a community we're demonstrating that through some self-regulatory moves and organization that we can add in things like know your client, anti-money laundering, and OFAC and special designated nationals can't buy. Like those are checks that are not in place today. So along with the background check, those are now things that are added into this very easily and automatically. So it increases the security and the transparency as an industry without jeopardizing the individual rights. So we think if we can help demonstrate that, we're going to really be able to back off maybe hopefully a bunch of that consumer pressure within the banking industry to abandon this space. But as it stands right now, if Visa and MasterCard said we're out, we've got Freedom Coin.
All right, well, wonderful. Thank you so much
for your time.
With me. We appreciate it. We got a little more coming for you from the floor here at SHOT Show. Plenty more interviews to go, but this is an interesting new product. And,
thanks for having us.
I think we're all looking forward to seeing where you guys go.
Appreciate your support.
So, thank you.